This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase. But did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2017 Porsche Macan S. Up front is a 3.0 liter twin turbo V6 and down below is a 7-speed automatic transmission. This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US. Let's get back to that 3.0 liter twin turbo V6. Well, this is not the turbo model. I know it's kind of counterintuitive because the engine actually is a twin turbo V6, but the turbo model actually gets a larger engine still with twin turbos. It's kind of confusing, but this is not the top trim level. This is not the all-out Macan, but it is a decent mid-range. And so the 3.0 liter twin turbo does not mess around. I don't think I'm breaking any new ground by saying that. It's a fast engine in a decently heavy car, so it kind of weighs it out a little bit, but it's better than the base model. The base model Macan comes with a 2.0 liter turbo that you'll find in literally every other Volkswagen product. And so this is actually a 3 liter twin turbo, and yeah, it does the job. All right, 3.0 liter twin turbo V6. We're out here on the test track. Oh man, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think the acceleration is great. I think the power is 100% there. And actually, I just realized I didn't even put it into sport mode. So let's try that again. We'll do windows up. It is kind of breezy, and I did get a little bit cold right there. Let's try it again in sport mode and see if there's a bigger difference. It sounds so good. It sounds like a proper Porsche. It barks and it snarls. It's reserved. It's an SUV, and when you drive it to Whole Foods, you're not going to disturb anyone. But when you really go for it, wah, wah, it's right there. It sounds so good. I love it. I really love it. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 7-speed automatic transmission. It is a PDK. And that stands for a big long word, but essentially it's a dual clutch transmission. It shifts obscenely fast. I drove a 2016 Macan S, and that was my first introduction to PDKs, and I've absolutely fallen in love ever since. I've driven a couple cars with PDKs since then. 2020 911, a 2019 Panamera GTS, 2019 Panamera GT4, and a Macan base, as well as a Cayenne S. So I've driven a handful of PDKs, and I have to say, I absolutely love the transmission. The shifts are lightning quick. They are super fast. And honestly, there's a couple things that I want to talk about with this Macan, specifically because, as I just said, actually a couple months ago, I did a 2016 Macan S, and you might be thinking, what's so different? Why would you review a 2016 and a 2017? Well, the reason is because when I drove that 2016, it was the first Porsche I had ever driven, and thus I was so excited. I was over the moon. I'm not kidding. I teared up a little bit when I first started driving that, but I feel like that clouded my review ever so slightly. So let's actually get into the grit of the Macan S. Last but not least, the Macan is all-wheel drive. Now, let's talk about the interior. In front of me is that beautiful center-mounted tachometer. I have 2 physical gauges, and the center is that tachometer. I absolutely love it. I think all sporty vehicles, should have a center-mounted tachometer, and with this transmission shifting so quick, it's so satisfying to see it drop back down once you switch gears. To the left is my speedometer, nothing too crazy there, and then on the right I do have a screen. Right now it's telling me my audio. I could switch it to a bunch of different things. My navigation. It always does show up at the top the fuel range, my tank, stuff like that. I absolutely love it. I think the gauge setup is one of the best in any SUV. On the steering wheel, I do have a little scroll wheel on either side, my phone options, and I do have paddle shifters. So once I put this bad boy into sport mode, I actually can paddle shift it for that driving experience. To the left, I actually have my turn key. So this is not the actual key. That little knob doesn't come out. It looks like the key is in there, but the key's actually in my pocket. Porsche has always done this. They've put the keys off to the left because back when, you know, you would race cars back in the 50s, they used to do those running starts where the drivers would have to get in and start driving. And so the thought process is here is that the driver could start the car while doing his seatbelt. So traditionally, you know, the seatbelt clicker is on the right side. You're clicking and then you'd have to reach up and start. Porsche thought that they would save 0.8 of a second by doing this. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, but Porsches have always done this since the get-go. But then I do have my headlight switches, pretty basic stuff there. And then on the door, I have my window switches. All right, you also have a tailgate button. I didn't realize what that was, and thus I hit the tailgate button, and it does not automatically close. So I have to get out and do it myself. Porsche makes me do everything myself. Stupid. So on the door, you do get a tailgate button as well. Then in the center, I do get a center mounted clock. Most Porsches do this, at least the ones that I've driven have this same center mounted clock. I absolutely love it. I love that the hands are orange and they mimic the speedometer and tachometer. I think overall it really classens up the interior, makes me feel special, and it makes me feel like I'm not driving just an up badge Volkswagen. It's actually something its own, and I absolutely love that. I love the analog clock, and I will say that till the day I die. I think the analog clocks in Porsches are great. Then I do have a center screen. This is my infotainment center. Now, right now it's showing me navigation, but I can go to my media, my tuner. I like it. It's a pretty simple system. However, I don't actually have a scroll wheel or anything like that, so you are going to be doing it all through the touch screen. I don't mind that. I'm just pointing that out. Then we have our buttons for the center screen. We have tuner, media, source, phone, navigation, map, car, and home. Let's see what car has to offer. Interestingly enough, it comes up with a Cayman, a picture of a Cayman, which is weird. I never noticed this before. Why wouldn't you put a Macan? Why would you put a Cayman? I don't like that at all. Then I have a little cubby hole for my CD player as well as 2 SD cards. And then we come to the cluster muck of a center console. I have always complained about this in the Macan. The new Cayenne, the 2019 Cayenne, actually fixes this. The old Cayenne used to have 1,000 buttons in the middle. They simplified it for 2019, and I hope that the Macan is going to get the same treatment in the next couple of years, because this is too many buttons. I will just show video here. I don't even want to list it all. I have my climate controls off to the left. Off-road, auto, max, downhill, drive, sort, sport, off-road, auto, start-stop, off, favorite button, traction control off, my heated and cooled seats. Oh man, I think one of these buttons will make me lunch, actually. I don't even know. There's so many buttons, and it's just, I feel like a lot of this stuff can be integrated into the center screen. Go the Tesla route. Put it in the center screen. Teslas, if you're unaware, just have essentially a giant touch screen in the middle of the car. Looks kind of like an iPad, and that's where you run everything. Put more stuff into the screen. We want less buttons. And I'm not saying having buttons is bad. I like physical buttons. You'll hear me say that in a lot of reviews, but this is just too many. I'll sneeze and I'll not only change the climate controls, I'll navigate to the nearest Buffalo Wild Wings, and I will turn it into sport mode. All by just coughing. Hey. The shifter is in the middle of all of the cluster, and honestly, I don't mind the shifter. I actually like it. I do have an electronic parking brake and a little 12-volt outlet that's hidden away. Overall, this is the worst part of the Macan, is the center console. It's just too much. Now, the seats are perforated leather. They are nice and comfortable. They're not the most mind-blowing things in the world, but they don't have to be. This is a lower-end Porsche. You know, they do the job. They're comfortable. I'm not complaining about them, and honestly, there's nothing really to complain about them with. But we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2017 Porsche Macan S, and I do have heated seats, which I'll be turning on because it's chilly this morning. I do have temperature controls down here. I do have a center console, just 2 cup holders. It's made of this real thick foam. But other than that, it's a nice back seat. My knees do touch the front seat. It is that shorter chassis. If you really want all the room in the world, get a Cayenne. But that being said, you know, four-door Porsches, you're kind of slim pickings. You have this, the Cayenne, or the Panamera, and honestly, this has pretty good room, all things considered. I do have this very nice skylight that spans pretty much the whole vehicle, pretty standard in modern luxury cars these days. You have obviously power windows, Bose speakers in either door, but something I did not do with the 2016 Macan is take a look at the trunk. So let's hop back and actually take a look in the hatch that I accidentally opened up earlier in this video. All right, so we're around back of the 2017 Macan. Pop it like that, pull on up. And honestly, it's not bad. You do get these nice Porsche floor mats. Absolutely love that. You get some tie downs back here, you know, for your luggage. You do get a power outlet. That is huge. You only get one of them that I see though, but that's still super nice to have. So you can have like a mini fridge here if you're gonna tailgate or something like that. Actually decently usable. Those seats do fold down. It's like any other SUV, but I really like this not only cargo kind of hider, but you do get a net as well. So you could put little stuff up here and it'll sit nice and level in the trunk. And then we got to talk about the looks. The last one I drove was a silver gray. This is a white. I actually do like it a lot as well. I like the little stripe. I think overall the Macans look really good. I don't think Porsche makes any bad looking vehicles at the moment. The old Panameras used to be very ugly, but now I think that they make all pretty quality vehicles. And I'll show some clips here of some of the more modern. I actually went to the Porsche driving experience here in 2019. And so I'll show you more modern vehicles to kind of, you know, describe what I'm talking about. I do think that Porsche makes only good looking vehicles. That's not to be said throughout history. The 928 and the 996 and but I do think that this Macan looks great. I think it performs great, and honestly, in a world with so many SUV choices, I think this is one of my top runners. Some people may say that, oh, this is an up-badged Volkswagen or up-badged Audi. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I think the designers who built this, who designed it, created it, they really hit the nail on the head of capturing what a Porsche is all about. I'm not saying this is the most hardcore Porsche. I'm not saying that if you're a diehard Porsche fan, you have to own one of these. But there's something so unique and precise and calculated about Porsches that I absolutely love. And I think they really capture that here with the gauges, with the clock, with the center screen. It just all works together, and it feels really thought out. The other Porsches that I've driven, the 911 and the Panamera, feel the same way. They feel very planned out. They feel very thought through. Someone gave these cars a lot of thought and effort, and that really reigns true even here in the Macan. And so my closing thoughts are, if you can afford one of these, I would go for it. I really, really like one of these. Definitely, if I could afford one, I would own one. But I would not own the 2.0 liter turbo base model. I drove one of those in 2019. I have a mini review of it. I really, really strongly dislike that vehicle because the 2-liter doesn't even let the Macan get out of its own shadow. I mean, it doesn't perform as well. And of course, this is the 3-liter twin turbo, so I would say it performs. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for allowing me to take out their used Porsche Macan S. The people at Toyota know that I absolutely love Porsches. They were actually able to get me into the first Macan that I reviewed earlier this year, and that was the first Porsche I had ever driven. So I am forever in Toyota's debt because this, you know, driving Porsches, they're some of my favorite cars. They just feel so great. They're so different, and I absolutely love them, and thank you so much to Toyota. If Toyotas and or Porsches are not your thing, then still head over to toyotaofnaperville.com. They have over 400 cars in their inventory right now. This is one of them, and I can't thank them enough. Definitely go check them out. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys. Aside from my soul.